Now, this next matchup is very interesting. The number 5 seeded Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, are going on the road to face the number 2 seeded Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen, in the 2021 divisional round of the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills are favored by 2.5 points. And I'm going to pick the Baltimore Ravens to actually pull off this upset. I was not particularly impressed with the Buffalo Bills versus the Indianapolis Colts in the wild card round. I think the Colts vastly outplayed the Buffalo Bills for most of that game. I believe Indianapolis won the line of scrimmage. They ran the ball effectively. Philip Rivers seemed comfortable. He was efficient. And ultimately, the Indianapolis Colts, to me, looked like the better team on that given Saturday. I believe it was a Saturday in which they played, yes. I thought the Colts were the better team. Now, ultimately, Buffalo won the game, but why did Buffalo win the game? Buffalo was able to pull away and win that game closely because they had Josh Allen and the Indianapolis Colts did not. Look, I got a lot of respect for Philip Rivers. I really do. But the minute that Philip Rivers is asked to ad-lib and get off script and make dynamic tight window throws, he just can't do it. And listen, the Indianapolis Colts, they left a lot of points on the table to be desired because the Buffalo Bills, they kind of got lucky because the Indianapolis Colts, they just did not execute at a very high level last week. And look, Josh Allen was enough to make a ton of plays versus Indianapolis and allow Buffalo to squeak by. But versus Lamar Jackson, who to me is still a top 5 quarterback in this league today, and versus the Baltimore Ravens defense, which is red hot, I don't think that's going to fly. Josh Allen right now is single-handedly carrying the Buffalo Bills offense. And Buffalo, over the past, couple of weeks, has not been able to run the football effectively. They just have not been able to run the ball effectively with their running backs. Josh Allen is their run game. They're just saying, hey, Josh Allen, we're going to ask you to throw the ball a bunch of times, and we're going to ask you to be our best running back as well. And I just think that there's going to be too much on Josh Allen's plate versus this very good, in my opinion, borderline elite Baltimore Ravens defense. And I believe Baltimore has the secondary to match up with those really good wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox. Got a lot of respect for those guys. But guess what? I have a ton of respect for the Baltimore Ravens secondary as well, led by Marlon Humphrey, led by Marcus Peters. The Baltimore Ravens might have the best secondary in the entire NFL outside of the LA Rams. And I just think that they're going to make life hard on the Buffalo Bills wide receivers. And ultimately, Josh Allen is going to have to play another near perfect game, and I don't trust Josh Allen to come through versus this Baltimore Ravens defense. And ultimately, I believe Lamar Jackson is going to make a couple more plays that Josh Allen simply does not make. Lamar Jackson didn't, wow anyone on the stat sheet last week, but guess what? I don't really care about stats. I watched the game. Lamar Jackson, he was excellent versus the Tennessee Titans. He had one bad throw, one horrible interception, but outside of that, Lamar Jackson played a very clean football game. He was efficient, he was accurate, he made throws down the field when they needed to be made, he ran the football effectively, and when we look at Lamar Jackson, sure, he's the focal point of the Baltimore Ravens offense, but Lamar Jackson has a really good running game at his disposal as well, led by J.K. Dobbins, led by Gus Edwards, led by Mark Ingram. The Baltimore Ravens running game is really, really good. And the Indianapolis Colts were able to run the football effectively versus the Buffalo Bills defense. I just think that Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, they're gonna chew the clock. They're gonna keep Josh Allen off the field. And one thing we know about Buffalo is this: their run defense, to a certain degree, is their Achilles heel, and they're not a great team as far as running the football effectively. I think that Buffalo is a little bit too imbalanced of an offense to put up enough points versus Baltimore's defense. And ultimately, I trust Lamar Jackson in this game. I trust John Harbaugh in this game. As good as Sean McDermott is, I think that John Harbaugh right now today is a better head coach than Sean McDermott. So give me the Baltimore Ravens. Give me those points. And I believe that the Baltimore Ravens will beat the Buffalo Bills on the road and advance to the AFC Championship game to face either the Cleveland Browns or the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes. But give me Baltimore in this matchup.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.